Well, this is probably going to be the shortest weekly report on the Forster Andrews organ there is. There were 2 days I couldn't put any time into it, so we've only done 5 days instead of 7 days on it at 4 hours a day, and there's very little to show for it. But what we have done is, if you remember, we were cleaning the keys and sorting out the problems and putting the felt and leather on the back of the keys. So we'll just go over towards the keyboard. So there's a limit to what we can progress with because we still haven't got the red centre pin washers either for the bottom keyboard or the top. Now the top keyboard is on dowels, it lifts up, it pulls out, and that's it, whereas the bottom keyboard is screwed in. So we're still going to have to take every single key out to put the red felts in when they arrive. So there's a limit to what we want to do. But what we have done is to put a lot of the trackers in on the back, and I think I've done more than half. So let's take the camera there. So as you can see, these are now in at the back. So if you remember, we've got the soundboard pull downs, the trackers which couple up to the pull downs, the rollerboard which moves the action laterally. These new trackers which we're putting in go down to the squares at the bottom, and then the trackers go across to the keys and the squares at the front, as you know because you've seen me overhaul it all. Amongst those are some brand new trackers which we've had to make. Everything's time consuming. There's 3 bushings come out of the original bushings on the rollerboard which I thought were okay, and they probably would have been okay if the wires hadn't pushed them out. So we're going to have to go back on that, and it's time consuming to do. So that will be done next time, where we'll put all the trackers in, any bushings that come out we'll do in one operation. But it's a time consuming operation because we've got to take the top of the trackers out. Then wait 24 hours for the glue to dry and put it all back in. So we'll go back to the keyboard. Right, so some of these keys now have what we call touch on them. And the touch is the amount they move. So you've got the springs in the soundboard which return all the action to the off position. So as you know, the keys do absolutely nothing apart from activate the action. So we have touch on some of these, and I've tried to set the action to such a position that we do have touch. Now it is 7/16 of an inch. So when we come to it, the amount that the note is at its rest will be 7/16 of an inch. So what we'll do is to put a bit of tape on a rule at such a position that it makes it easy to do. So that is probably about, well, that's about right. That was too high. And then so you set the white ones with a rule. So you might set C and G, and then you get them level perfectly as well as you can with the ivory being natural. And then you bring the blacks so that they're flush at the back. So that's how it's done. We'll show you that in great detail. So of course they're all over the place, the ones which have got some action. I think that's the highest one we've got in at the moment. So we have got, if I had put this faceboard on and put the blower on, this would now play on those notes with limited action. So what we'll just do is to put the camera in position where you can see that happening. So I spent another hour on this, and we'll call this a day. What's this, a 2-minute video? So I've got no touch on that. I've got too much on C and C sharp. D isn't in yet, but we're on to D sharp. So you can see that I am on, you can just move the camera that bit. I think you can see the end. So it's 56 notes, it goes to G. So I've got 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I've got 17 to go. So hopefully we'll have that done in a couple of days. I've got them laid out over there on that table. If we just swing the camera around. Yeah, there we are. So you can see that one extreme left is broken. So that's another one we'll have to remake, and sometimes when you start cleaning them, they break anyway. The next one, the one on the extreme right, has got a longer wire. Now whether it's broken in the past and it's been repaired to the correct length, but using a longer wire, I don't know whether there's a technical reason why it's got a longer wire. But whatever it is the right length, and if that's a previous repair, that's absolutely fine. That's part of the history. So there we are, that's all there is to say. But if I swing the camera back round again, so you can see the pallets up there, you can see that when I press that note with the scarily high touch, you can see that operating right up there. So we're getting there. And I say if I put the faceboard on that, the organ would play. But we have this touch to set, and it's 7/16 of an inch. So we'll have that to do, but not till we've put the felts in on the keyboard. Now, if those felts don't arrive, give you something more pleasant to look at, certainly not me. If those don't arrive during the course of this week, what we're going to do is we're going to dig out the great soundboard, and we'll start the overhauling of that. If you remember, we had to repallet the Swell one, which is up there. And I wouldn't be surprised if we've got to repallet the grate as well. So there'll be more materials being bought in, and if we repallet it, we'll be doing the pull down, so we'll be more parts to order again. So there's always things to do which add to the finished item, but until we've got this working satisfactory, I don't want to push the organ back against the wall. So there you are. This is the end of this part. Is it part 18? And it may be all of 2.5 minutes. So not much to show. A lot of time gone into it, and you can see now exactly how this action's working. Now it's working the pallets up on the soundboard. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. You never know, we might have the faceboard on, and I might be able to play those untuned pipes which are up there. Thanks for watching.